My wife and I have been together for 5 years, married for 4, and we have a 4-year-old daughter. In our household, I am the sole provider while she stays home to care for our child. A decision we made together, though ultimately it was her choice not to return to work. I supported her decision and always did my best to help out, not just financially but also by cooking, cleaning, and being as present as possible in both of their lives. Despite my efforts, our relationship has been strained for the past year and a half, with arguments happening frequently. They often started over small issues but escalated into something much bigger. The first time my wife mentioned divorce was during an argument about my sister staying with us for a short while. My sister was going through a tough time, and without much hesitation, I said yes. I assumed it wouldn't be a big deal, especially since my wife had previously allowed her friend to stay with us for 5 weeks without discussing it with me beforehand. Unlike my sister, her friend didn't contribute to the household in any way, yet I went along with it. My sister, on the other hand, helped with cooking, cleaning, and watching our daughter. I saw the situations as completely different, but my wife did not. I thought we had moved past that issue, but it became clear that resentment lingered. Our fights continued, often over minor things. I never felt like I was the one initiating them, and I suggested therapy multiple times, hoping we could work through whatever was causing this tension. Each time, my wife dismissed the idea, insisting she didn't need help. Last night, we had another explosive argument. She accused me of spending too much time at work and claimed I was neglecting her and our daughter. That hurt because I had always made sure to be there for my child, never missing an important event, school function, or doctor's appointment. Then, in the heat of the moment, she brought up divorce again. This time, it didn't feel like an empty threat. I told her the only reason I worked so much was that she refused to contribute financially. I had asked her multiple times to consider getting a job or going back to school to help relieve the burden, but she always refused. I was exhausted from carrying everything on my own, and in that moment, I told her I was done. I said I would have my lawyer draft divorce papers and left with our daughter, taking her to my sister's house. Since then, my wife has been calling and texting nonstop, apologizing and saying she didn't mean it. She suddenly wanted to go to therapy and counseling after all. She told me she missed me, needed me back, but I didn't know what to believe anymore. I love her, and I know she is a good mother, but the constant fights and emotional turmoil had taken their toll. I had tried so many times to fix our marriage, but it felt like I was doing it alone. Looking back, I stand by my decision to leave. If I had to make that choice again, I wouldn't change it. Over the years, I encouraged my wife to find something outside of the home, whether a job, education, or even a hobby, but nothing came of it. She stayed in the same place, and I felt stuck too. I grew up in a volatile household where my parents' constant fighting left deep scars. When my mother finally left, my father turned his anger on me. That experience shaped me, and I swore I would never subject my child to that kind of environment. I promised to protect her from the toxicity I had endured. But now I wonder if I had just been delaying the inevitable. One hard truth I've learned is that you can't force someone to change. They have to truly want it. While I know I'm not blameless in this situation, I also know I can't keep raising my daughter in an environment where dysfunction becomes her idea of a normal relationship. After a lot of reflection, I told my wife I couldn't keep living like this. I made it clear that the threats of divorce and the constant fighting had to stop. To my surprise, she agreed and promised never to bring up divorce again. I told her that if she did, it would be the last time. We decided to go to couples therapy, and at first it felt like a breakthrough. We opened up about things we had bottled up for years. The sessions gave us insight into frustrations we hadn't even realized we were carrying. Therapy gave me hope. My wife seemed to be making an effort. She got a job, started making new friends, and even picked up a hobby. For the first time in a long time, I felt a sense of relief, like maybe we were finding our way back to each other. But then it all unraveled. One day, I went to drop off our daughter, and a shirtless man answered the door. My wife came around the corner wearing a robe. In that moment, I knew it was really over. In 3 months, when our legal separation ends, I will be filing for divorce. There's no going back. Now all I can do is focus on my daughter, show her love, stability, and the kind of home she deserves. No matter how much has changed, my priority is raising her in a healthy environment, free from the turmoil that defined my marriage.